Peace and blessings, family. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, peace, peace. Today we would like to share with you something from this phenomenal book known as The Holy Message to the Black Man in America, published in 1965 by our beloved messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I want to share with the family the origins of this concept of some type of God being outside of the people, or some type of God being inside of the people, or some type of God that's somehow distinct and independent and separate from the people. But yet we call this God Father and King and Lord of Lords and Master and He and Him. We use such pronouns to describe this mystery God that it's time that we go back to the origins of where the spooky stuff really came from, how it came about, why it came about. And basically, I was watching, in fact, I'm gonna share with y'all a two-part DVD I just was watching a couple days ago. But it goes into how the people in the beginning of time was in tune and in harmony and living as one with Mother Nature, and how they came out from that. You know what I mean? And when I was watching it, it made me reflect. And I told my wife, I was like, should have seen this historical DVD I was watching. It reminded me of our little buddy. Our little buddy is a brother that lives in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. And sometimes we might go to the store or whatever. And he's like, I would say he's probably like 4 feet 5 inches. I give him about 40 years of age. And he's just an adventurous personality. Now, I mean, like he's what you would call mentally challenged. He's extremely intelligent, extremely bright. Now, I mean, and we might drive. Say we went to the Home Depot, had to get some tools or something like that. We'll be miles away, because I know where he live at. You know what I mean? We'll be miles away from his home and see him walking down to the side of the highway or the road or something. I'm like, look, he all the way down. He's like 10 miles from home or something. You know what I mean? So out of concern for our brother, he's the type that for years, no one, to my knowledge, ever bothered him or anything of that nature there. People see him, different times. I know me personally, one day I walked past, it was real hot outside. And I was coming from the library, and I seen him sitting on somebody's stone steps, and he was just counting his change. He had like pennies, nickels, dimes, whatever. And I always speak to him. Now, he's real polite. We wave to him all the time in the car. When we see him far away, my thing is like, oh, listen, man, you want to ride back? Want to ride home? He be like, no, I like walking. That's his thing. He likes to walk. And I'll give him a couple of hours, just make sure he get himself stay hydrated, because he do a lot of walking. I'll see him like walking all the way down by our way, and he'll be like picking up aluminum cans to recycle aluminum, so I'm not sure. But he has money. I seen him, I seen him with cash and stuff like that there. He's not a homeless person or anything of that nature there, but he's a deep adventurer. Like it's something instinctively in him that's his balance. Just walking, exploring, just seeing things. And even though he may see pollution and whatever, And my wife was like, why you think he be walking like that? Walking this, looking around, and he'll take it like physically, because he's short, but he'll physically climb up on a dumpster and look in there, have his little plastic bag, get stuff out the dumpster, put it in his bag. You know what I mean? And I was like, the God is probably a descendant of the people of the Twa. You know what I mean? He's the people of Batwa, what the Europeans or the colonizers refer to them as pygmies. You know what I mean? I was like, a lot of our people that were kidnapped during slavery, we came from different regions of Africa, came from different tribes. I mean, we came from different parts of Asia Minor. We came from different parts of the world. We came from different islands. I mean, so we was like a gumbo mixture of chattel property. You know what I mean? And we all had our different dialects and languages and gods and beliefs and things of that nature there. You know what I mean? But I thought about him when I was watching the pygmies, so-called pygmies, in this DVD. And all they showed was the pygmy. They live in the forest, you know what I mean? And they like to explore. They go, they dig for roots. The women that dig for, things they might find, yams or sweet potatoes, whatever growing in that particular jungle they may be part of at that time. They may hunt and capture a baby deer or something like that, deer, fish or whatever, and they showed the pygmy drinking some spring water, some real spring water. And all he did was he bowed down and he got on his head and hands and knees and he drank some of the spring water. And the commentator didn't talk about it like that really, but what stuck with me was him drinking that water. And it made me reflect on human nature, in this day and time. When we drink some water, like I got some spring water right here. When we drink our spring water, well, be like, now, even though this plastic may not have all the deadly chemicals in it, and it may be pH 7 balanced spring water, it may be pretty clean, better than tap water in the house or whatever. So I don't think I'm drinking some holy water, some special water. Now, I mean, I'm not endorsing no particular brands or anything. I'm conscious that big corporations buy up the land, and when they buy up land, they get the water rights or the mineral rights to that land. As a result, the wells, the artesian wells underneath that land, now you have a 10% rich slave makers of the poor that owns the water. So it's just a handful of corporations that owns the water. Most people don't realize, we know the square miles of the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic, the Indian, the lakes and rivers, Lake Michigan. We could give you the mathematics about all that. But at the end of the day, with approximately 71% of water on this earth, there's only like 2% of water that you can drink. 7 billion people only has access to 2% of the water that's drinkable on this particular earth that can sustain life. You know what I mean? Now, when we factor in what the law of God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to all praises do forever, taught us that the devil contaminates 3 cubic feet of air every hour. Every hour pollution is going into the rivers, the lakes. They dumping all kind of crap, oil spills, industrialized factories that's just spitting dirt and pollution and deadly chemicals all into the atmosphere. Helicopters and jets and airplanes and rockets just spitting all kind of pollution all into the air we breathe. You know what I mean? And they mixed in nitrates and all types of chemicals into the soil to make the fruits and vegetables grow faster. They're using all kind of antibiotics and steroids to make the animals get bigger, fatter, quicker, and all of this pollution is going into our mind, body, or body temple. Now, I mean, when I say mind, I don't mean mind in a sense of the scientific mind. The scientific mind, or the creator, or energy, if you will, is unaffected by all things. I mean, it's independent of all things in the sense that you can blow this planet up. You can have all the pollution you want. You can't pollute the mind. What I'm talking about is not the nature of man. I'm talking about man's characteristics, meaning that the Holy Quran teaches us, thou art not mad. That don't mean that thou art not chemically imbalanced. That don't mean that thou art not B12 deficient. That doesn't mean thou art not polluted. That don't mean that your brain that's connected to your central nervous system is not balanced on having myad. That don't mean that you're not bipolar or schizophrenia. That don't mean that black men don't suffer from anxiety and grief and depression and trauma and you name it. That don't mean that black women are not abused and don't have addictions and worries about bills and how they're going to take care of the children, and they're cheating behind boyfriends and husbands and all the violence in the hood. All of that stuff makes us mentally imbalanced. So everyone on earth has mental health issues. Everyone on this planet has nutritional deficiencies. Everyone on this earth has physical imbalances. The Holy Quran teaches us that corruption has appeared on the land and the sea on account of what mankind's hands have wrought. So we're in a struggle to bring back peace, in the sense of the Cherokee tribe, for example, say Duahili. I mean, in ancient Kemet or Black Egypt, for example, we'd be like Hotep. Now, I mean, we say in Arabic, Salam. Now, I mean, the Spanish would be like Paz. The Africans be Redi. Our Hebrew Israelite brothers be like Shalom. But we're all saying peace. We're all saying peace. Like if you went to India or something like that, there the Hindis, they'll be like Santi. You went to Persia, what we call it, Iran, they'll be like soul. You know what I mean? So there's countless ways of saying the same thing, but in a different vernacular, a different dialect, a different language, what have you. But the significance, the essence of it still means peace. Let me see if I can find something for y'all real quick. I don't know if I have it down here upstairs. That ties into what we're talking about today. Okay. Let me see something for a second.